In the main menu, in the bottom right corner, is the game version. This recording is done on patch 4, which is whatever this number is. If it doesn't appear in your game, there's an option for it in the debug settings, which you can open with Ctrl-Shift-tilde. In the top left corner, I also have 2 widgets enabled, an FPS tracker and an input tracker, both of which can also be toggled in the debug settings. Because we don't have a load remover, all of my times are going to be in real time. My speedrun here is also with the game running off of a hard drive, so if you play on an SSD instead, you'll automatically have better times than me. But one way we can reduce loading times is by playing through the entire demo at least once before we do our actual runs, as the maps will be preloaded in our system's recent memory. The footage you're watching is from my 650 run, which at the moment of recording is the record. Faster times are absolutely possible even without any strategies, because as you'll see I mess up a couple of times. For the Shabnak sequence, it's important to try and land your matchstick throws early, because if you throw them late or at the latest possible moment while moving, it's possible to actually outrun the Shabnak spawn triggers. If you do, the trigger that starts the end of level cutscene won't activate, and you'll be stuck there until you backtrack, get killed, and restart. As I'm sprinting around, you'll notice that Daniel stops sprinting sometimes despite me holding down the sprint button. In quarantine, there is a hidden stamina stat that makes it so we can only sprint for 10 seconds before having to wait another 10 seconds to do it again. For this reason, you won't see me holding down shift preemptively in loading screens and animations in fear of wasting those 10 seconds of sprint time. You don't need to light this 4th bonfire to progress. Quarantine is a very simple and beginner-friendly speedrun to perform, with only 1 or 2 tricks that are also very easy. I'm not sure what's going to happen to Quarantine once the full game releases, but probably at that point we're going to be more interested in running Pathologic 3 rather than Pathologic Quarantine. Dialogue in Quarantine is very placebo in its trees. Choices only very rarely matters, so I'll be spamming 1 and 2 to progress quickly through most of them. I don't have a trick for getting around these officers. If you wait too long and wait for the animation to start before heading forward, then you risk losing time. But if you're too impatient for the animation, then you might be going too fast and then they arrest you even though you had your gun out. For the interrogation sequence, we won't need the mouse, so I have both my hands on the keyboard preemptively spamming 1, 2, and J for the journal, to get through the sequence as fast as possible. And here again, I'm preemptively spamming 1 and 2 while holding W to move forward. At the start of the section, Daniel is too depressed to run, so holding down sprint doesn't actually do anything. As soon as we finish this dialogue, we get our drug items that we will have to quickly equip. Control-click and equips them to our first available slot. Strike 9 is our main go-to upper, and I like having it on the first slot. Tobacco as a backup second slot. Healing, I put on my third slot. And our emergency downer, bromide, I'm putting on the fourth. I don't think it matters which order, this is just what's easiest for me to remember. One of the main mechanics in Quarantine is Daniel's mood, which the game systems refer to as metabolism, and managing it is key in Quarantine and in the speedrun. If our metabolism is too low, we move slowly, can't sprint, can't talk to some NPCs, lose time travel juice called amalgam, which doesn't actually matter in Quarantine. And if it drops all the way to the left, Daniel will stop, shoot himself, and delete our saved game. On the other end, if our metabolism is too high, Daniel will run really fast, comically so. But we can't talk to some NPCs, and our health slowly drains. Our goal in the speedrun is to keep our metabolism all the way up while not dying, and only taking downers when we need to talk to certain NPCs that won't talk to Daniel if he's tweaking too hard. Which is the reason why I don't max out my mania immediately in order to get to the stage faster. The diagnosis section is a little precarious. We are forced to talk to the patient 2 times before we are allowed to assign them a diagnosis. For Luda and Finch, this is simple, and we can just select the first option we see. Fillet is particular, however. We need to select skin redness and vein damage as symptoms, the order of which is randomized every time we boot up the game. If you wanted to be tryhard in your speedrun attempts, you could fish for a favorable layout order by rebooting the game over and over again and playing to this area until you see a layout that you like, but I never bothered. While talking to Philip the second time, we need to be careful and choose the "No, I can't in good conscience" dialogue option, which is on a different line depending on how we go through the dialogue tree. So you'll see me slow down here and try to be meticulous with my choices. Finishing Philip, I loot the first 2 cabinets here that since patch 4 always have the same items. One improvement Quarantine has over Pathologic 2 is we get a press F to take all button. After this, we are free to go into full Turbo Granny Manic Speed mode. On our way to Philip's house, I perform a district skip exploit. I explain how this works and how to perform it in one of my glitched playthrough videos, which I'm just gonna copy and paste in here. It's really easy to perform. The biggest downside is sometimes you get stuck on the door while you're turning around, in which case you lose a bit of your dignity. This works because there are 2 forms of town exploration that Pathologic 3 recognizes. One form is when we choose a destination on the map. We become locked into this navigation until we reach our final destination's district. On this path, if we are interrupted by a dangerous district, we load in and we are meant to play through it. During this district, all fast travel gates are closed and turned off, meaning if you do somehow clip out of bounds and activate the fast travel screen, you still won't be able to fast travel. Only the intended exit is open, let alone functioning. The other form of town exploration is when we are not in this travel state, as if we are in our final destination and are not going anywhere else. In this form, we are not locked into going anywhere, so all fast travel zones, whether closed or not, are active and will fast travel you anywhere else you want, even when it involves moving through the district you are currently in, regardless of whether it's dangerous or not. It's a little bit of oversight that we can kind of abuse in quarantine. It's probably going to be fixed by the time the full game is out, so enjoy it while it lasts. In Skinner's, I take an immediate left turn and enter Philip's house from the back door, which still spawns us from the front door for some reason. Here in Philip's room, we have to look at 4 objects with our investigation mode, which is a little hard to do while holding down shift. We need to do this for the dialogue options we ask the story to appear in our talk with the kid hiding in Philip's room. Which, by the way, is always in the first option in the dialogue trees, so you need to spam 1 and only 1 to progress. If you spam 1 and 2, you risk having to redo the dialogue. On our way back, we can walk on top of these rocks here for a more direct path to the exit. Here, I again perform the district skip to get to the hospital faster. Again, this is really easy. All you do is click on the dangerous district that's gonna stop you anyway, turn around, go through the open gate, and then click the district that you actually want to go. Honestly, I was kind of bummed out when I first learned how to do this, because going through those districts manually was kind of fun. At the hospital, Jaco and Philip won't talk to us if we're zooted, so depending on your timing, you may or may not need to take a downer in order to progress. Oh, and be sure to talk to Jaco one last time after diagnosing to open the exit. We are in the green. Here we perform the district skip one more time for the guts.
Nice. Good. We are in the green. Don't have to heal myself yet. That's very good.
At this mob sequence up ahead, we can just take a right turn and immediately get killed by a man with a stick. This teleports us back to the chair next to Eva, who we need to talk to again to progress. Here we see that Sticky does not approve of Daniel's drug use and won't talk to us until we sober up. In this speedrun, I mismanaged my metabolism and ran out of bromide, the main drug I use for my downer, and I have to manually go into my inventory and equip an emergency downer, which isn't as strong. But I panic and I fumble the buttons and lose time.
No!
Here in the decree screen, all we have to do is press Z to remove all decrees and then exit. And we don't have to talk to Khan on our way down.
No! God damn it, Sticky, why? God damn it, Sticky, why?
The Shabnak doesn't talk to us unless we're close enough to her, so I stand right at the edge of her radius to get as close to the door as I can while staring at the door, so I can just hold down Shift W after the dialogue. The rest of the run is super simple, and it's just a matter of not getting stuck on geometry and pressing space and escape at appropriate times. The timer ends when we're back in the main menu. Despite not being perfect, I'm likely not going to keep running this category. I want to see if anybody else takes a crack at it and what kind of strategies they can come up with. Not to mention what kind of absolute broken nonsense we can pull off in the full game, whenever that comes out.
Sticky tried to stop us, but we showed him.